and CEO of ShareLove.Fund. Today we are in week 16, I can't even believe it, of our RCYT, Registered Children's Yoga Teacher Training. And each week we have a pose of the week unless we are in a review week. Review weeks are weeks ending in a 2. And in those weeks, we review everything, not by a test or quiz, but by putting it together in a sequence that we are calling a spiced up sun salutation. Each of our sun salutations can incorporate up to 9 additional spices or poses, and that is a way to help us memorize. The SHARE method was developed for incarcerated women so that they could learn to have a livelihood without any tests or quizzes, regardless of an ability to read. Because of that, we deduced all of yoga to 45 key signature poses of the SHARE method, and we found that that is enough to really have a wide range of poses to choose from. So today we're going to examine wide-legged straddle, and we're going to examine that from a chair, as chair yoga is part of the elective in the RCYT course. Why did we pick chair yoga to be an elective in our children's specialty course? Because unfortunately, children are in chairs most of the time. And by utilizing the techniques of yoga, this is a way for parents to make car rides go a little faster by doing a half pigeon in the car like this, for example, neck clocks, rotations, inverted hand folds. These are all ways to entertain and energize and burn off some extra energy that may manifest in the form of anxiety for children in car rides. And also, chair yoga is a wonderful tool for children who are taking tests and need to burn off a little anxiety during test time. I'm going to give everyone a moment to get a glass of water and get a chair. It will be very helpful to have a chair for this class. In terms of water, I say this every class, but I'm a purist in some ways. So I will say it is not traditional in yoga to drink water, but for all of us in our busy lives, most of us don't drink enough water in the day. And so I love the fact that when folks come to my class, they can at least hydrate. So hopefully you'll have learned something, but at least you will have hydrated. And when we try to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, we won't come out empty-handed. So grab a chair. You don't need blocks or bolsters or anything like that for this class, but please feel free to hydrate and grab a chair, and we'll meet in a few. Okay, so I am bringing our old school original manuscript. We do have the polished version, the Encyclopedia of Yoga, available on Amazon, reasonably priced for purchase if you want, but also you can just download the manuscript for free from our course. You can enroll in our course at ShareLove.Fund/train. Our course actually does have a fee because each person who enrolls in our course pays for themselves to earn a degree, as well as one of our incarcerated women or at youth risk to earn a degree. However, once you're in the course, then you can download the manuscript for free. Anyway, so the pose of the week, so sorry, this little low tech. The pose of the week is wide-legged straddle. So that is what we were working on this week. And we will explore that in a chair. Before we do that, we're going to quite literally enjoy some food for thought. So please feel free to get comfy in a chair. You can be in have Lord of the Fishes pose as I am, or in another pose of your choosing. So, in the past, we've read chapters 1 and 2 and 3. I can't even believe we got through chapter 3 of our high school youth leaders book, Broadening Our Horizons, What Can Modern Food Science Learn from Historic Nutritional Practices? This book, and here I'm going to start to read from chapter 4. Chapter 4, Food Culture, Western Traditions. This book, I couldn't be prouder of our youth who wrote it. So one summer, they said to me that they wanted to write a book on food science. And I said, okay, but we're a yoga school, so can you relate it to Ayurveda? And they came up with this incredible book series title for all of our textbooks. All of our textbooks are published under this series title of Broadening Our Horizons. And it was an incredible collaborative effort of middle school and high school leaders spanning 4 countries and 10 high schools. And they worked so hard to write this book. And I really treated them like adults in this job. I was like, you know what, we have a publishing deadline, we have to do this. And so it wasn't always pretty, but they delivered. This particular book title, What Can Modern Food Science Learn from Historic Nutritional Practices, is available on Amazon. Nothing makes the youth's day as a 5-star review with comments, because it helps them with their college application process, and it also helps our organization, which is a 501c3 charitable organization, helps us with grants so that we can get support for more youth projects to publish more books. We also have published the Encyclopedia of Yoga, which is also available on Amazon, and we're working hard to turn Gandhi Goes to School into a hard copy. It is also available on Amazon as a Kindle. The youth also took incredible pictures. I'm so proud of them. And this book comes replete with 30 recipes. Our youth decided that the book needed relevance, and so they took it upon themselves to find recipes and test them and put them in here. So instead of a traditional meditation, I'm reading from this book because I'm hoping that it may inspire all of you as children's yoga teacher trainees to write with your kids, to share works of literature written by kids with kids, and to really plant the seed of the power of the pen with this next generation. Each one of the chapters starts with a chapter objectives box and a keywords box. And I'm so proud of these kids. They wrote this as a textbook series. All of the books in Broadening Our Horizons are a textbook series. It's a textbook series written at the 9th grade level for incarcerated women. We deliver all of our textbooks for free to custodial facilities that we have relationships with. And in this way, it's the embodiment of the phrase, a child shall lead them. Literally, our kids are teaching a group of women who are so thankful to have a second chance. At the end of each chapter, just like a good textbook should have, the end of each chapter are chapter quiz questions. So we'll do these together also. And I think that children did such a great job on these quiz questions because in general, they're not fact-finding questions. For the most part, they are They are critical thinking questions. And I love that because at the end of the day, we can only cram so much information into a child's brain, but we can't prepare them for every single situation. So what is the one thing that can prepare a child for any situation? Well, that one thing is to have good judgment. How do you teach good judgment? You teach good judgment through developing critical thinking skills. So I love that these chapter quiz questions do just that. Okay, so let us read together. Okay, so this, and this is a picture from our graduation party. So I'm so proud of our youth. Okay, I'll show all the pictures, like a good storytelling. You know, you guys might be adults, but we all love to see the pictures when reading a book. Okay, keywords. Oh, and also children love to be read to. So may this reading to you serve as an example or inspiration of what you might want to do in the classroom. Okay, without further ado, the keywords in this chapter are American food, Mexican foods, Western food culture, and vermicelli soup. The chapter objective is this. The previous section summarized the food culture within the Eastern traditions. This chapter will focus on the food culture in Western traditions. The importance of Ayurveda in the food culture of the Western era is vibrant and compelling. Learning about the food culture in both traditions will help you move forward to adopt Ayurveda. Okay, so let's get to the meat of it. And here it goes, the students' work. The ancient tradition of Western food culture dates back to centuries and has evolved due to different cultural processes. Since ancient times, the Western food culture has consisted of a meat dish as the epicenter of all meals. It emphasizes grape wine and various side dishes such as seasoning, condiments, or accompaniments. Seasoning in Western food culture plays a vital role in enhancing the flavor of most dishes. Spice, sauce, dairy products, and even wine are mainly used for seasoning. Western food culture emphasizes perfection to make beverages and meals delicious in flavor with an eye-catching look. I'm just gonna break it out. I love to hear the children's sort of modern anthropological take on Western food, like that it's eye-catching. I think that that's, that's awesome. Like reading this book, you get a sense of seeing the world through the eyes of the youth, which is pretty awesome. Okay, back to the text. The tradition has a unique cooking method, which includes, The tradition has a unique cooking method, which includes an iron grill, iron plate, and roast. Undoubtedly, the beautiful presentation, practical, and simple dishes of the Western food items are likely to make your mouth water and increase your cravings. The developments over the years have also brought about changes in the food culture of the Western tradition. In ancient times, a standard preparation process was prominent. In the Middle Ages, the professionalism of food production became widespread. In the modern era, new food items have been introduced to delight the taste buds of different people. And then here, it's cute, the kids took a photo of the pumpkin patch, and we took them to Harvest Moon, apple picking, and pumpkin picking, and they had a ton of fun. If you are sitting in an asymmetrical position like I am, then this is a really good time to kind of shake out your legs, maybe do a half-time stretch. Tap your feet to the ground if your feet were not firmly placed on the ground, so that you get some circulation into your feet. Do some ankle rolls outward Some ankle rolls inward, squeeze the toes, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point. And then if you're sitting in asymmetrical position, this is a great time to reverse that position. So I was sitting in a version of half Lord of the Fishes, and so now I'm doing that on the other side. So I encourage you to do the same because it's about our halfway mark. In ancient times, Italian cuisine was the most prominent Western diet due to its classic style. French cuisine ruled in terms of culinary technique, but American fast food, convenient, handheld cuisine, and English cuisine are the most influential in contemporary times. I'm just gonna break from the text. I love how our modern American cuisine, the kids deduce that to be handheld cuisine. I love it. Okay, because I hadn't thought of it that way, handheld cuisine, and it's true. We like to grab and go with our cuisine, so we have a handheld cuisine. These developments have significantly influenced Western culture's cooking approaches, taste, and food items. No longer are the traditional cooking tools and methods used. Instead, modern technologies are leveraged to prepare Western food items. This has significantly enhanced the taste and preparations of different dishes and made them more appealing. Western culture has a wide range of food options to meet the unique taste of different individuals. However, the choice of food items will largely depend on the availability of raw materials. Not all raw materials like veggies are available throughout the year. Some vegetables, grains, seafood, and even poultry products may be available only during the summer, while others may be available in the winter. Based on the raw food items available in a particular season, you can choose the kind of Western food item to prepare. With the advancement of technology and the development of food processing and cold storage, you can get a variety of food options in all seasons, as most raw materials are available throughout the year. Then again, if you live in the Eastern region, some Western food ingredients may not be available due to lack of the appropriate climate conditions. As a result, it may be challenging to prepare Western food items that require those ingredients. I love how the kids have really thought this all through. You know, how does one acquire food? It doesn't just magically appear on the table when you're hungry. And I think that this exercise of writing this book really gave the children insight into all the work that goes behind the scenes to put a hot meal on the table for them. Okay, continuing on. The main reason for selecting Western foods is their deep connection with their culture. Many Westerners are omnivores and love to have meat as a key ingredient in all food items. They believe that meat products can provide them with the required energy to keep their body active and functional. As most Western foods are high in fat and flavored with spices, they seem undeniably appealing to people. Western food is also considered a status symbol meant for sophisticated and classy individuals. So I think that point of Western food being a status symbol, I think that was probably the input of our youth leaders from other countries. Because certainly within the United States, I think sometimes like sushi could be a status symbol, but not necessarily like a burger and fries. So that was one of the really cool aspects of writing this book, is it revealed so many cultural mores and beliefs, and the children were able to grow through that process of hashing out those different opinions with their peers from across the world. Here is a picture of one of our youth at Muya, a burger joint. Let's examine food selection based on weather conditions. You are likely to lose appetite during the hot summers, thereby avoiding heavy food. As your body perspires heavily, you must choose foods to keep your body hydrated. Include more kiwi, grapefruits, plums, cucumbers, peaches, eggplants, and other naturally cooling foods in your diet. You can also consume Mediterranean pasta salad made with cucumber, fresh basil, tomatoes, olives, pasta, and feta cheese. When the weather is cold during the winter and your body temperature starts dropping, you need immunity boosting foods. And here is where the youth are integrating actually the concepts of Ayurveda, the concept of seasonal eating, but they are applying foods common in the West within that concept of Ayurvedic seasonal eating. So I thought that that was a really cool interplay that the youth found. Like even when they're talking about Western food culture in their Western food chapter, still the wisdom of Ayurveda seems to find its way into this chapter. So I don't know if that was conscious or unconscious of our students. They were led by our board member, Dr. Villick, who really was amazing at helping them think more like a doctor. She's an MD and also a PhD, so she understands research and writing so well. So she really helped them bring up their level of analytics and defend their thesis statements. So it was pretty remarkable. It was very cute to see the conference calls. Okay, back to the text. Okay, when the weather is cold during the winter and your body temperature starts dropping, you need immunity boosting foods. Okay, we said that. In winter, consume more cabbage, spinach, turnip, potatoes, leafy vegetables, strawberries, carrots, pineapples, and cauliflower. Alternatively, Western culture can enjoy smoked bratwurst and warm vegetable or potato salad. You can also have vermicelli soup or avocado soup. When the weather is damp or monsoon, consider eating vegetables and fruits like broccoli, sweet potatoes, lettuce, eggplant, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cranberries, we said cauliflower, they have a little typo, it's okay, and corn. It's a practice, not a perfect. What about some of the unique food traditions in the different Western countries? The Native Americans and Europeans greatly influenced American food. Popular American food includes hamburgers, cheese, and macaroni, potato chips, and meatloaf. The Tex-Mex, popular in the Southwest and Texas, is a perfect blend of Mexican and Spanish cooking styles. The unique food tradition of Mexico includes the traditional and basic diet, rich in wholesome nutrition that provides energy to work and ensure good health. Most Mexican foods consist of beans, corn, squash, chili peppers, and tamales. Eating healthy isn't the only way to stay fit. To stay fit and healthy, Ayurveda and yoga are also essential. It's a yoga school after all, so we have to squeeze it in, right? We'll explore both in the next chapter. And so here is a beautiful picture. I don't know if it's Machu Picchu or what, but these kids are so incredibly traveled, it's amazing. Okay, chapter quiz. Answer these questions to help you understand the topic. So let's have some fun and see how we do. There's 4 questions. Okay, question 1. Which food culture is better amongst Eastern and Western traditions? Okay, so I guess this can be a little battle of the food cultures war. So This is a youth work. I would have phrased it differently, like what can we learn from each food culture? What are the differences and similarities of each food culture, or juxtapose each food culture? But you know what? We amplified youth voices, and they wanted a battle of the traditions, and they asked which is better. So ShareLove.Fund will not answer that. We are not going to take an opinion, but have some fun with it, and you can decide what you like better, which food culture. Question number 2. Do you think that Western food culture is better than ancient or Eastern food culture in terms of nutritional aspects? So this can be a very interesting question, and I think that the real value of this question is that it gets our youth thinking about nutrition. So I think that regardless of how people answer this question, like, oh, Western food has more nutrition or Eastern food has more nutrition, it doesn't matter kind of what side people come out on this. The process of answering the question means that the person addressing the question is really thinking about nutrition. And so I think that that's the lesson learned. And so all answers are winners when folks are becoming introspective and really putting their health as a priority and focusing on it. Okay, question number 3, moving on. Were you aware of the efficacy of yoga and Ayurveda when blended with food culture? So I think this question is really interesting because yoga means the yoking, coming together, union, mind, body, and soul. So a lot of people, when we think of yoga, we think of Lululemon, and we don't necessarily think of nutrition or meditation. But yoga is movement, it's mindfulness, but it's also nutrition. Yoga is about balance. So, and really when you're trying to be fit, exercise and not sleeping and not eating well is not enough. And like eating right and sleeping but not having movement is not enough. Or like being in a negative mental state but sleeping and exercising is not enough. Like you really need all 3 to truly, truly, truly have your A game on. Now, most of us function pretty amazingly, like not on sleep and not on a good diet and not with exercise, but we could function even better with all those things. So I think that I'm interested in all of your opinions, so please feel free to comment. I prefer comments in Teachable in our classroom because that is the first area that I look for comments. Comments in YouTube don't always get addressed just because we are a charity, we don't have so much capacity. But I am interested in your comments on that, of if you were aware of how much yoga and Ayurveda, how much influence it had on food culture, or if you disagree and think it's not blended with food culture, or really what is your opinion on that? I think a lot of principles of Ayurveda are incorporated in modern food culture, like the idea of seasonal foods, but we just don't always necessarily realize that that particular principle that we're incorporating is derived from Ayurvedic practices. The last question, do you find it important to adapt the habits of yoga and follow Ayurvedic pathways alongside consuming good food? So I really love this question because it invites the children to take a stand. Like, do you want to eat healthy or not? Because if you don't think it's important and you don't think it matters because you're a teenager and you feel invincible, then maybe we should just focus on the movement and nail that. And that's okay too. you know, these kids have a long life ahead of them, and we don't need to perfect every single aspect right this minute. So if there is resistance to the food element, I think as instructors, we can move on and we can focus on something else. I'm going to give a story about when I was in college at UC Berkeley and working with inner city youth in Oakland, California. They told me I was part of an environmental science initiative. I was an environmental science major. Later I went to law school and got my master's also from the London School of Economics. But anyway, at Berkeley, as part of my environmental science minor, and I was also a business minor, but as part of the environmental science minor, I worked with inner city kids in Oakland, and I was told to not teach them about organic food, that organic food was part of my environmental science curriculum, and I was told to cut it out. And the reason why I was told this was because they said, listen, these kids rarely eat fruit. And if you start telling them about pesticides on apples, they are going to be afraid to eat any fruit. And organic fruit is not available to them probably. So please don't scare them away from non-organic fruit. And so I thought that that was really interesting. And when I read this last question, do you find it important to adapt the habits of yoga and follow Ayurvedic pathways alongside consuming good food? When I read that, I think it's important to remember that a lot of youth are just happy to have food. And so when we start getting on their backs about making good food choices, it's like putting pressure on them about something that they can't even necessarily control. So I think the food issue can be an interesting one, but it also can be a sensitive and loaded issue, and it can also bring up a lot of stress because it's not necessarily in youth's control what food options are available to them. So I just ask all of you as teacher trainees, when you go out into this world with this RCYT yoga teaching degree, to please be sensitive and don't make youth feel bad about what they're eating, because their options might be to eat something or to eat nothing. And eating something is better than eating nothing. With that, let us move on to the movement, which is really good and something that you can introduce to the youth and use your time wisely. Inhale the arms up and shake it out. Shake out the legs. Stretch your legs to the side, and we are going to work on our peak pose of week 16, wide-legged straddle. Inhale the arms up and exhale, forward fold. We're just going to stretch out here. You can rest your belly on the chair if that feels good. Get some blood flow into your head if that feels good. Slowly come up vertebrae by vertebrae. And we're going to use the chair as a way to really stretch our inner thigh. So in an earlier week in the set, we did Warrior One. So here we have our back heel up. So this is more of a high lunge. I'm hugging the chair to really get my each hip forward. So enjoy high lunge in a chair, really focusing on alignment and the twist. Come back to center and enjoy goddess pose. Seated chair version goddess pose. I'm going to hydrate while we're in goddess pose, and I welcome you to do the same. We really don't drink enough water during the day, so even though it's not traditional to drink in a yoga class, I always say just use this time together to get that glass of water in. In goddess pose, let us stretch with warrior two arms. Inhale and reach around. Exhale and reach on the other side. We'll continue back and forth, just stretching and reaching while opening up our hips. I love this pose because in a custodial situation, I like to tell our female inmates that they can always paint a rainbow wherever they are. Exhale, face forward, and you can use the chair to get yourself a little more around, and we'll do warrior two on, warrior one, excuse me, on this side. Really focusing on alignment and the stretch. Exhale, come back to center, and we'll enjoy this wide-legged straddle again. This time, walking our hands out. Toes pointed forward. You can use this as a little bit of a strengthening pose, not dumping your weight into the chair. Just having your chair there just in case, like a safety net, but not really using it. Walk the hands to one side, get a deeper side stretch. And walk the hands to the other side. Slowly come up. From here, we'll go into double pigeon and we'll stretch out our neck. So double pigeon has, your foot is flexed and my hips are just really tight, so my knee is really high up, but in general, your knee would be down. Okay, let's stretch our neck. You can place a hand and gently push your neck to one side. These neck stretches are wonderful in the classroom because children are confined to their desk anyway, and this can really alleviate some stress in between tests. And stretch the neck the other way. And then at your own pace, just really trying to get all those nooks and crannies of your neck stretched. Shake out your legs a little bit, and then let's do double pigeon on the other side. The sole of your foot should be flexed. Here, arms up, and clasp your hands together. Make your pointer fingers point up and stretch to one side, and stretch to the other side. With your right hand, grab your left wrist and give it a little tug. Exhale, and with your left hand, grab your right wrist and give it a little tug. Do some arm circles to really open up those shoulders back, and some arm circles to open up them forward. Inhale, your left arm across your side body. Pat yourself on the back, give it a little hug. On the exhale, bring your opposite arm across your side body. Give yourself a little pat and a little hug. From here, we'll do eagle arms and stretching between the shoulder blades. And shake it all out. And eagle arms on the other side. Notice the difference of how you feel on each side. Is one side tighter or not? Shake it out. Inhale, one arm up, grab a hold just under your elbow. Try not to ever grab your actual joints. Give it a tug. Feel it open up. And shake it out and grab a hold your opposite elbow on the other side. Give it a tug. Shake it out. I'm going to read a meditation and give you the benefit of be exposed to a children's meditation as part of your children's yoga teacher training, but it's also an opportunity for you to enjoy the benefits of meditation. As teachers, you are nurturers, and this is a time for you to be nurtured. So please take a comfortable position. I don't want us to go into Savasana just yet. I would rather you have a tall spine and be in an alert meditative pose and really enjoy the benefits of meditation. So this is a loving kindness meditation for children ages 3 and above. Its level is considered easy. So this would be a wonderful first time meditation for a student that's never had a meditation before. This meditation fosters love, compassion, and kindness, and it's best done when seated and when the child is alert. Sit down with your legs crossed and back straight. Gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Again, inhale. And exhale. And bring your hands together to form a heart shape. And place your heart-shaped hands on your chest. Now think about the people that you love. Mom, Dad, your sister, your brother, uncles, grantees, grandma, grandpa, your friends, and anyone else you love. Notice how your heart fills with love and joy when you think about these people. Now cup your hands in front of your mouth with the sides of your palms touching. Blow kisses to these people that you love. Now rest your right hand on your chest and your left hand on top of it. May your heart be filled with love always. Gently open your eyes. As this meditation concludes, you could ask the child to tell you about the people that they love, and in this way, the meditation has an increased benefit to help with communication skills, especially because this is a meditation designed for 3-year-olds. So by the 3-year-old being able to visualize a person who is significant in their life and then focus on it throughout the duration of the meditation and then communicate what they focused on later, that is tremendous communication development. We have time for one more meditation, also geared to 3 years old and above, and also at the easy level, perfect for introductory meditation. If you are sitting in an asymmetrical pose as I was, this is a wonderful halfway mark to really switch sides so that both sides are symmetrical. So we'll squeeze in a bonus meditation. Again, now it's called listening meditation. And these meditations, please just enjoy them. You can get the transcript by seeing the transcript in the YouTube, and then you can just copy paste that and then make that part of your notes and modify it and so forth, in case you may want to use it in a classroom. So you don't really need to write anything down because you can just copy paste from the transcript. Okay, listening meditation. 3 years and above, level is easy. This meditation fosters heightened awareness for the present moment and the environment. It is best done when seated and when the child is alert. Sit upright in a chair or on the ground, or lie down on your back with your feet extended forward and hands alongside the body. You can shake out your hands. Take a deep breath in through your nose, open your mouth, and breathe out. Once again, inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Now bring your attention to any sounds around you. Listen carefully. Can you hear any sound? Is it near or far? What sound is it? Is there silence? If so, listen carefully to the lack of any sounds. Stay still and keep listening to any sounds in your environment. That concludes our second meditation. I'm going to put you into a nice, delicious chair savasana for you to enjoy. So last class, we talked about chair savasana lounging, but we didn't do it because I said I didn't really like how the shoulders roll forward. And so last class, what we did is we moved the chair perpendicular to the mat, and we had the knees, the chair, abut the back side of the knees like this. And the knees fanned out a bit, so there's a little bit of a hip opener. Today, for savasana, I recommend a different kind of chair savasana, and if you want a pillow, feel free, but I sometimes think it feels better to try to have the neck aligned. I'm going to move this out of the way, actually. So basically here, what I'm proposing is that you really back it up, and you just have your feet rest on the chair, not your knees. Heels are on the chair, toes are fanning out. This really is a wonderful inversion. What we did last week, we bent the knees, so you didn't get the full benefit of the blood flowing from the toes on down. If it really does that, I don't know. I think our circulation pumps it either way. But anyway, medical jargon aside, this is a wonderful inversion. It's a little different from what we did last time, so it's fun to explore different types of savasana. I'm going to leave you in savasana for 30 minutes while I make my way around the room. Please enjoy, and I will cue you out of it, so don't worry if you fall asleep. I'll wake you up. Okay, so I will get up, but you can stay and enjoy this. Hands can be 6 to 8 inches from the body, palms face up, eyes closed or soft gaze. Just melt. Enjoy. Okay, slowly bring your attention back to the present moment. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Roll to one side. Take a few breaths here to avoid lightheadedness. Slowly bring yourself up to a comfortable seated position. How do you feel? May the light in me be the light in you. Have a blessed day. Namaste.